facing evictions, not homeless.
Right.
But facing evictions is 40 million people.
Right. People who could be displaced. That includes homeowners, renters. 40 million.
Can't have 40 million people that go homeless.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex. Special month coming up, man. Special season coming up, man.
Leo season?
Leo season.
You're not a Leo. You Leo?
I'm not. But it's not. It's actually not Leo season. You know, September is coming up, and it's gonna be an ugly September for everybody because
Leo season's annoying.
Yeah. Besides after Leo's, of course, there is a massive housing crisis going on that
Right.
has no real end in sight. So, recently, if you live in the States, right? Live in America, best country in the world. Don't forget.
I'm sorry for you.
we had our coronavirus package that ended July 24th, right? You had
You're talking about the CARES Act.
The CARES Act protected renters from being evicted.
Mm-hmm. And homeowners as well, right?
Yes.
Right.
That only applied to renters that receive government assistance through housing or like food stamps or things like that. So it wasn't as many, or had their home mortgages backed by government agencies like Freddie Mae, Fannie Mae, which is about
the minority of.
I'll say like 35 to 40%. Right, the numbers vary.
All right,
that's
okay. Oh, that's a good amount.
Most of the other ones are relying on local and state protections.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what state you live in, like you live in Massachusetts, there's only been 80 evictions filed from June to July.
Right, and the protections in Mass end on October 17th.
Yes. Whereas you live in Wisconsin.
Shouts out to Baker.
If you live in Wisconsin, right? Your protections ended in May 27th.
Back in May?
Yes. So the eviction rate rose crazy the first week of June. It was up 42% from last year.
42. All right. That's in Wisconsin.
So, like, as you see, it varies from state to state. And I'm just thinking about the government
That's
incompetence from not only the federal level, but also the state levels. And, like, where the hell do we go from here? You know, like, all these... You're about to have... The numbers coming out that are about to be facing evictions, not homeless.
Right.
But facing evictions is 40 million people.
Right. People who could be displaced. That includes homeowners, renters, 40 million
Can't
people.
have 40 million people that go homeless. Right?
Some estimates put it between 20 and 28 million, but that's still a ridiculous number of people who could be losing their homes because of a pandemic.
Yeah. Like
in the greatest country in the world.
Nothing through their own fault. Greatest country in the world. Don't forget. Election season coming soon. I'm just thinking, I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, all these people facing housing crisis, luckily, like, we've been in jobs that have allowed us not to work from home.
Right.
But if you're an essential worker, you don't even get, like, the government stimulus. Like, you get the $1,200, which is cool, but you don't get a rise in your pay. Like, not in Canada, if you make less than $2,500 a month, you got a rise in your pay if you're an essential worker.
Right.
So now it's like, where...
Speaking of Canada, like, you want to say where do we go from here? How did other countries handle this? Like, is the U.S. the only one facing mass evictions right now? It can't be. It's the greatest country in the world.
Greatest country in the world. We got something coming for you, but it's other countries had more protections in place to not only stop the eviction crisis, but also the unemployment crisis.
So did they just have more money than the U.S.?
UK was like, people were receiving 80% of their wages. Like, most people that weren't able to work receive 80% of their wages.
Okay.
On top of that, so you're still able to get most of your money. And
if you could work.
Yeah. So now you have no people that can work, and it's just all these people facing housing crisis. Is like, what's gonna happen in the next year?
I don't know how any city or any state can just handle an influx of millions of homeless people. That don't make no sense to me.
You look at San Francisco, you got Hollywood, you got Las Vegas, 3 of the cities with the highest homelessness rates.
Right, but I don't think the majority of their citizens are homeless, which is probably what's going to happen.
It's not the majority, but it's like a crazy amount.
I know.
Like even Boston. Like,
but after this happens, bro, the majority of people in the city or state could be homeless. How many people can work from home? And it's not even like you were poor before, so you're getting evicted. Like, if you were a construction worker making good money, you probably can't work right now.
Depends, yeah. But
Right?
yeah, let's just say you can't, yeah.
You probably can't work right now, so it's not even like it's. I want to say it's a class issue, unless it's a race issue. Like it's not even just like I know they say like black and brown communities are gonna be hit harder, but like you're not being poor, being middle class, being upper middle class. Like you're not protected from this unless like you're in a really really good position in this country.
No, you're not. But this is the. It is a class issue, but it's always a class issue. Black people always get hit by the things the hardest. It's just how America
That's a
works.
given.
You know, it's unfortunate. But
And look at and I had a friend who was telling me how she wants to get back to work obviously because that's how she pays her rent, and she wants to go on strike, do all these things for California, New York, wherever she is, and she used the example that I didn't look this up. That's what she told me. Elon Musk recently reopened a factory down in California or something against the orders of the government.
yeah.
And what they do? Nothing. He's Elon Musk. But now we can't go back to work because we're just who we are.
I mean, there's been several people like that. There's been a very notorious local case of a local gym owner. I forgot what city it was. It might have been like Revere or Methuen. Or one of those cities. He opened the gym in Massachusetts, right? It's in Massachusetts cities, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Opened the gym before Phase 3 came out. And he got shut down. They were like, nah, it's not happening.
He's not Elon Musk.
He's not
Jeff Bezos.
No, that's a good point. Like, those people get to play by a different pair of rules.
Right.
And I mean, like, even if they don't, like, what's going on right now doesn't really affect them, which is cool. I'm not going to turn this into a us versus them necessarily thing, but it's concerning when you look at the economy and when you see who the economy works for.
That's what my question was
Right.
going to be. Who's the priority right now?
Because, like, how did all these rich people keep getting richer in the biggest crisis in the last, like,
Fantastic
15 years?
question.
You know what I'm saying? So
How much of the government stimulus went to big corporations again? Like most of it, right?
a lot of it went to it. So you have the bailouts of the airplane industry, which is
People are traveling less. So what would they... all right, keep going.
you just had a bunch of $1 billion loans and grants. A lot of the loans weren't even necessarily loans; they were grants.
Damn.
So like if you do things in a certain way, you only
You
get
gotta
to
pay
pay
that
that
back.
money back. Yeah. So now it's where
Joint's crazy, bro.
I'm looking at this, right? We have election season coming up, right? And not to be too superly political, but how do we fix this? Because I can't think of a situation where this many people are facing homelessness, and it's okay. And the thing is, before we even answer that question, is we look at something that happened in Las Vegas, which I thought was one of the craziest things that showed the state of America. Las Vegas, big homeless population, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could be contributed to gambling or housing or whatever. Like a lot of those things factor into why Las Vegas is so high. You have the homelessness is so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not bringing people in churches or hotels or trying to organize them in shelters. Well, you know what they were doing?
What were they doing?
They were drawing lines in parking lots to make sure people were 6 feet away from each other to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Wait, so they drew lines and went home and just like
Yeah, it's like,
told
go
people
ahead.
just make sure you stay in this line?
See you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So where am I?
Do you feel like the candidate who says, the first candidate to say, I'm going to cancel rent is the one who's going to win?
Ooh.
If someone came up saying, I'm going to cancel rent or end the he can't end the shutdown. If they say, I'm going to cancel rent, they're going to win, bro.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I've seen a lot of support for that movement,
I
bro.
can't see any of those two doing anything to. I can't see Biden and Trump doing anything to cancel rent. I can't see anyone saying it. Not one.
They wouldn't do it. I don't think they would do it, but if they said it, that candidate would definitely get the most support.
I'm just.
Which wouldn't it be a bad thing? Like I've seen that idea. I have problems with it, but that
No,
goes
but-
back to your question about who is the government prioritizing right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you know, there's more renters than homeowners.
Exactly,
so
more
we could
renters than
feel-
landlords.
We could feel bad for the landlords, we could feel bad for the renters. Nobody's really feeling bad for the landlords or property owners, right?
Right now,
So,
right.
but they still need. I mean, if the people that are paying them to pay off their house aren't getting, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a very complicated.
No, I
issue.
saw there was the guy. It was in Massachusetts. He was like the president of like a landlord association that talks to the government, whatever. And he was in favor of canceling rent until this is all sorted out and making the landlords bear the brunt of the cost and just have the government bail out landlords like they did for the airlines. or something like that. Like just make it so that they pay it back in the future, or
You think
they
we
take
live?
it out
You
of
think we live in Switzerland?
they take it out of tax revenue.
It's not Finland, bro.
Out of future, I think that's what he said. He wants to take it.
That's
It was
not-
Douglas something.
Nah.
Take it out of future tax revenue, and let renters live for free. Let the landlords bear the brunt of whatever's happening right now. Because how you gonna expect people to pay during a pandemic? How you gonna evict dudes during a pandemic?
Yeah, and you couldn't for like a lot of these places. You couldn't, right?
You shouldn't be able to.
But
No matter
not-
what like.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
This week, right? This week is August 24th.
Right.
This is the week of August 24th. This podcast dropping August 26th. The CARES protection moratorium ended on July 24th.
Right.
You have 30 days to file. Like the process takes 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, you have to give 30 days notice. Sorry, for the eviction.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
After this week.
yeah, after this week, prepare to see mass eviction. Like
Depending on the state
depending on the state, but a lot of these states. And the thing I'm worried about is like why are not more people talking about this? Like why is the news not covering this?
That's actually a good point.
You know, like because at least I can guarantee you at least 5 people we know are like, yo, what the fuck am I about to do? At least 5.
I know I've spoken to one of them.
Yeah, like at least 5 people are like in the back of their heads like the state just opened back up so I can start getting money, but
Not enough to live.
not enough to live off of.
Unless you're in Canada.
The CARES thing also ended, so like a lot of unemployment money's dried up.
Unemployment was. I mean, that's nonsense, anyways. So many people needed it and still haven't gotten a dime.
Yeah, and
The stimulus packages.
But even
Bro, one check of $1,200.
I completely agree with you. But now we're looking at like complete government incompetence. Where, I don't even want to call it incompetence, right? Because it could be working the way it's supposed to work.
And they just want it to be this way.
Yeah, they want it to be this way, right?
Right.
They want the rich people to get richer. They get to keep their jobs. But I mean, like these dudes went on recess without.
I was about to say that.
Without getting the bill passed.
Right.
Right. So now
Dudes are dying and getting evicted, and like, yeah, I think I need a break.
what's the solution, man? This is a really
Cancel rent.
I don't think it's that simple.
Cancel rent, bro.
And I'm not even
Make
talking
it simple.
I'm not even talking about from a solution of canceling rent like that. There's more economic problems just canceling rent. Like what happens to all the money what happens to the housing market if the value of the houses aren't appreciated?
Dog, take money from the military and pay for housing. It's a very simple calculus, bro. Take money. How much money does the U.S. spend on? We don't need bigger tanks right now. We don't need the fastest jets right now. We really, really don't.
Says who?
Probably every single American right now, bro. I think there's not. I'll be hard pressed to find someone who says right now, with everything that's going on, I think I need a bigger jet, or a bigger tank out there and wherever the war is right now.
What about World War III, man?
This is a bigger crisis than World War III right now. It's fictional. World War III is. Come on, bro. I'm getting frustrated. All right. The amount of money that the U.S. has, this shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't be happening. So like, I know somebody else recently talked to me about it. They just start working more. They pick up another job, and the other job is renting them maybe, I want to say like an extra $500-$600 a month.
Wow.
Which is not that much to begin with, right? But it's more than zero.
It's something, sure.
And then guess what happens? Government cuts food stamps.
So he's back to square one. Probably worse than square one.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the thing I'm looking at is where does I don't see a revolution happen anytime soon. Maybe if it'll take it has to be a very strict set of circumstances for a revolution to happen. I just don't see it happening. I just want to know where we logically go from here, where it has to be a situation, not even if it's not canceling rent. Like, what do we do to our politicians, or what do we do with landowners, homeowners? But like I said, there's at least 5. Like I think everyone knows at least a handful of people that are gonna be asked out.
Right.
They have no idea what to do.
And it's not like you can help them because you're probably struggling too.
Exactly.
You can't get people to come to your apartment because you're probably going to violate your lease and get evicted too. So,
Yeah.
What the hell do you? I ain't got that answer. I'm saying cancel rent. Other than that, obviously we can't have an armed revolution. You're gonna have 28 million people on the streets with nothing better to do, but they're still probably not going to.
But you have to think about this too, and justification is another issue that we're gonna get into another episode. But when you have, like, for the city of Boston, for example, right? Major problem is third highest rent. City's completely gentrified. You have all these luxury apartments being built.
Right.
And, like, half of these things aren't even occupied. But no one could afford them. It's like what's going on? Like, where are you gonna? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a different topic.
Like, it is a different topic, but what is gonna happen to these empty areas? Like, people just gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna stay on the streets. Or like, you don't think people are gonna just be like, all right, I'm just gonna try to scooch in here for a while?
Nah, I think they're gonna resort to crime. Crime rates are gonna go sky high.
I mean, here's the thing too, though, which is really funny that you mentioned it. Homicide rates all over the country are up during the fucking pandemic, which is really.
Is it really that surprising? I mean, during the quarantine, like, it shouldn't be happening, but.
Yeah, it shouldn't be happening.
But we all know poverty and crime is related.
But the homicide rates are up all over the place.
Right, but because we know crime and poverty is related.
If no one does anything to stop this, will this trend not just continue? Like,
it's gonna get worse.
Will the robbing and looting not just continue?
It's gonna get worse, and you know what? They're gonna say it's our fault. Because the thing about America is that it paints poverty and homelessness as character flaws. And so if you're poor enough to get evicted and poor enough to be homeless right now, it's most likely your fault. That's how you're going to be seen, or how you feel like you're going to be seen by the country. And that's why I feel like a lot of people who are facing issues right now aren't really saying anything, because they know that that's true. Even if it's a pandemic, if I'm homeless, that has to be on me somehow. I feel like a lot of people have that mentality.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's so many things that go into this though. Like, you have, like, domestic violence rates have spiked during this quarantine, which, I mean, I guess is not surprising, but still.
You're home more, so I guess I don't want to say that.
I mean, it's still.
It's kind of messed up.
It's still tragic, so it's. I don't know, man. I'm just really confused.
Crime. You want to know what's gonna happen?
I mean, crime rates have dropped in a lot of places, though.
It's gonna go up.
But I mean, yeah, if the home, like.
Yes.
So let me ask this then. What do you think of the 40 million people that might be? How many people do you think will actually go homeless? I think that's a better question to ask, actually.
How many would actually go homeless? So people who don't have family or friends that could accommodate them right now, I'm gonna say at least like 12 million people, at least.
There's no way.
Like,
see, that's how revolution starts, though.
And you know, there's dudes who commit crimes just to go to jail because there's shelter and food there, instead of being homeless.
Which is, I mean, you can't really blame people.
So it's just like a whole prison conspiracy complex type thing.
You can take the conspiracy out of there. But where? I don't know.
That's what is gonna help the richer get rich some more when people start going to jail over the crimes they commit from being homeless, from being evicted.
So I'm happy you brought that up. Now it gets back to like, you know, private prisons and private prisons taxing banks for not filling up their prison beds.
Exactly. They got quotas, which is crazy. I need to have this many people in this jail at the end of the month. Or else, like, what kind of shit is that?
So do you think that's something in the back of these people's heads where it's like, hey, if more people become homeless, there'll be more people to arrest. There'll be more people to put in jail.
I'm sure.
There's more people to put in the private prisons, which comes back to us, and now we save money or even gain money.
Maybe they didn't plan it that way, but I'm sure a lot of private prison industry officials are rubbing their hands right now. I'm sure of it.
I'm just at a loss, honestly. Like,
there's nothing we can do.
There has to be something, though.
As the people, there's nothing we can do.
There has to be something.
We can vote.
We can't just...
But like you said, none of these candidates are going to...
I mean, even if, bro, voting's not until November.
And besides that, what else can we do? We can't run up on people and tell them, yo, put me back in this house.
There got to be something, man.
And all
there has to be.
There's so many individual cases. You got to handle this on a case-by-case basis.
I get that, but there's a sweeping number of cases that all have some level of familiarity or some level of singularity within them, though.
You can't just say if you're evicted, go back to where you were, because that's going to cause like hysteria. People are going to come saying, yeah, I was here. No, I was here. No, I was here. I was here last year, but I was here 2 months ago. Whatever. Like, it has to be individual handling these cases, and as we saw with unemployment, they can't handle that. And so instead of giving people more money up front like they should have done, instead of getting a bigger tank, now they got to deal with this. How do you deal with all these homeless people? That's on them, but they're not really the ones suffering. And that's why I feel like they don't really care. They actually don't care. They actually don't care. They don't care. You have a pandemic that's been going on since, I mean, we've known about this since like January at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Okay.
It's now August, almost September, and you're telling me that we've only had one stimulus package. We've been shut down for the better part of the year, and you still don't have a solid plan in place to keep the majority of homeowners and renters from losing their homes? If that's not apathy, I don't know what the hell that is.
I mean, they can't just be vulnerable. Vulnerable takes too long.
It's not. So I don't know. It's not like
there has to be some. There has to be something that we the people can do.
See, and that's what it's there isn't. There isn't. There isn't. If we become homeless, it's not there. It's not because we didn't do something. It's not because we didn't. There was something that we should have thought of that we just didn't get through to our politicians in time. It's not our fault.
It's not that, but I mean,
that goes back to
I don't want to eliminate
associating character flaw to poverty and homelessness.
Of course, but oh man, I don't know. Is there any level of person? There has to be a level of personal responsibility. That maybe something we can do to prevent this, or
Bro, we pay taxes every single year. We worked for 10 plus years for some people. I've never missed. I saw this. It was an undocumented immigrant, a mother, just newborn baby born in March. Never missed rent.
Okay.
Never had any complaints. Never had any issues. She was a cleaner. Lost her job during COVID. Now she's asked out. Not her fault. She was an illegal immigrant. She was an illegal immigrant, right? Shouldn't have been there. Okay. But she had her job. She was paying rent on time. No complaints. She wasn't making society a worse place, whatever. And now she's paying for something that the government should have done. That ain't her fault. There's a lot of upstanding citizens that are gonna go homeless right now, bro. And it's not because they didn't do something. It's not because we the people sat on our asses while this was happening. There's been petitions. There's been movements. I'm sure there's been marches. A lot of phone calls made. A lot of begging. A lot of pleading. And these dudes went on recess.
I mean. And
so I can't tell you what we should have done, right? But I know what's gonna happen. I don't know what we should. Once we're homeless, I don't know what we're gonna do. Because this ain't 1800s, 1700s France within the revolution. We can't just put dudes in guillotines. A lot of people are gonna
bunk up with other people, save some money.
If you can.
If you can.
Not if their people are renting. That's gonna violate a bunch of leases.
It will violate a bunch of leases, but I don't know.
And how many people you know who own a home can now support, I don't know, the 7 family members who just lost their apartments?
No, that's completely true, but I can't feel it's helpless. What I'm saying, right? Like there has to be something that we can do to address this issue without going through politicians. There has to be
like a GoFundMe for every person.
Not a GoFundMe, but I don't know, man. It has to be something that we some loophole that we haven't found.
Or we all become entrepreneurs, start selling our services to each other, so we all just share money around. I buy your service, you buy my service.
I don't know.
I put my song on Spotify. Everyone streams it. Why don't we all put songs on Spotify? Everyone stream each other's songs. Spotify pays everyone.
I heard Spotify pays like 15 cents for 1,000 streams.
That's a lot of people together, bro. 40 million people, at least 40 million streams every single month. I could probably pay some bills, and that's enough money to go around.
Hey, I mean,
I don't. That's not a bad. I mean, come on.
No, that might be the best idea we got. I just don't know what to do. I think that's. The next month's gonna be very difficult for a lot of people, and
I wish there was something I could do to help, but you and I are in no position to do anything to help. Not even maybe like on an individual. Like I have some family members who are gonna go through it, and I'm prepared to do what I can, right?
Yeah.
But that's like 1 or 2 family members.
No, yeah.
Out of 40 million people.
Yeah, exactly.
And many more family members that I can't help, and friends that I can't help. You're gonna have to say no to people who are gonna be homeless without your help, and that's gonna be rough for those people becoming homeless and those people who love the people becoming homeless. And you know what? It's not our fault. It's not our fault. There was nothing that we coulda, shoulda, woulda done. If you are in a position where right now you don't know what's gonna happen, it's not because you didn't save for rainy days like you should have. The landlord should have done that. They should have done that. They had enough money to buy properties. They've been collecting rent, some of them, for years and years and years now, making profit. They should have saved for it. They should have saved for this. This is the risk that comes with owning property. A pandemic. The risk should be on the people owning the property, not the tenants, not the people who literally can't work.
In theory, that sounds right, but this is an unforeseen circumstance. You can't imagine there's gonna be no flow of income for like 7 months though.
No, but when you decide to rent to people, I'm sure in the back of your mind there's some situations where cash flow is gonna stop. Where the people who I have as tenants are not gonna be able to pay rent. What do I do?
Yeah,
I'm sure that's in the back of every landlord's mind when they start renting out properties.
No,
and you can't put it on the regular working class people, like that mom who was a cleaner, to save up for rainy days, like a pandemic, and not have that same expectations for the landlords, the people who had enough money to buy property. I'm not saying you're rich, you're a big shot if you can buy property, but you're in a much better position than these people who are barely holding on, who are going to be homeless.
No, for sure, man. And
you have protections. Like when it comes to evictions, the landlord has so much advantages.
He does, but there just has to be. I don't know. We've been talking for like 25 minutes, and there's nothing to do.
Maybe there's something we can't think of. Is there something you can think of that we can do, our viewer, our listener? What is it that we're missing here? I really think that there's nothing we can do, right? Because I feel like the whole reason that we're asking what can we do in this situation is messed up to me. We shouldn't have to do anything. It's a pandemic and they shut everything down. We didn't shut it down. They shut it down. So they should be doing something about it. Like, am I missing something here?
You know what, man? I got nothing else to say, man. I don't know.
Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if we're missing something. Let us know if there's something that we, the people, can do. If you're about to be homeless, I feel for you. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. And I hope that you get the help that you need, and I'm sorry that you had to live in this country during this time. But just know that it's not your fault. You're not going to be seen by me, at least, as less than, as lazy, as anything that we like to associate with poverty and homelessness.
Everyone get that Spotify account out.
Let's help each other out.
Opinion Factory Podcast. Find us on Apple, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends. Mm-hmm. Turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel. If you like the audio, share with your friends as well.
There we go.
We will see y'all
next week. Peace.